I am so excited because the Step Out TV shows are back live on TV.
All right. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Step Out with Oscar Bimpong. And today is a Saturday. I always tell you that Saturday is my best days. Why? Because I always have the opportunity to really interview people that are experts, that are consultants, that are talented people doing exceptionally well in their communities. And trust me, I always enjoy it. And tonight is no exception. I have got this man coming all the way from the United States, and he has got a powerful story to share. But before I go on to him, I really want to mention a few of our sponsors. This program is sponsored by Train to Inspire Consultancy. That is your business training and consulting firm. Train to Inspire works with SMEs and corporate institutions in terms of their business training needs. Also, it works with schools, colleges, that is colleges and universities and second cycle institutions in relation to the personal development of students. Also, ALS Global Shipping and Logistics. That is your trusted and import company, export and import company based in Ghana. ALS says if you are stranded at the port, call them and they will sort you out. Also, ZPay Ghana Limited, your remittance and mobile money company based in Ghana. They just launched their ZPay mobile money USSD code, and that is *270#. Just dial it on your phone and register for ZPay mobile money. With ZPay, you don't need an agent to register for mobile money, but you can just do it at a dial on your phone with just the chip that you have on your phone. Any chip that you have, it will help you register for ZPay mobile money. Now, tonight, my guest is seated. But if you really want to really contact any of our sponsors, their telephone numbers are scrolling on the screen. Please contact them. Also, if you want to sponsor any of our programs, you are more than welcome to do so. I always say this, that look, come to us. A lot of small businesses cannot go to mainstream media to really advertise, but come to us and we are going to work with you. We are going to give you the best deals. Also, if you want to support what we are doing, last year we really we interviewed over 100 people, including young people that are doing exceptionally well on the continent of Africa and in diaspora. Our aim is to reach out more with young people across Africa, but we cannot do it alone. We don't have the resources, we don't have the strength to do this alone. You can support us to do this. You can bring in your resource so that we can really go far with what we are doing. You can really support what we are doing with your knowledge. Resource can also be money. Anything that you think you can to help us to reach out to more young people, to take this education to the world, especially in Africa, to help young people to really achieve their goals, a continent full of challenges. But we believe that with the right education, with the right mindset, young people will thrive over on the continent. So we are working hard. We are doing our best, but you can come in and support us with what we are doing. Now, who is my guest for tonight? So I met my guest when I was speaking on the David Douglas platform. And since then, it looks like we've known each other for the last 10 years. Just, just because we carry the same mindset. And I was like, look, with all that you have achieved and with all that your knowledge and experience, I would like you to come and share something with us. And this is the day that we chose. And he is here to really impact everyone that really wants to make a difference or have the desire to really bring change to their lives. Now, who is this man that I'm talking about? He's a farmer. He's been in construction, agro-business, and he is the founder of International Action Charity Team, that is IACT. He is in the person of Stuart Litwiller. Please welcome to Step Out with Oscar Bimpo, and you are live on T2I TV UK.
Hi, Oscar.
Wow. How has your day been?
It's good. It's very good.
Wow.
I have a lot of memories when I thought about doing this interview. So many things came to my mind from my journey through life. And you know, you're a mindset guy, and I'm a mindset guy. So that's why we connected so powerfully.
Exactly. And I know today we are going to have one of the best discussions on this show, right? Now let's really go straight to business, because you are going to talk about your entrepreneurial journey and how you were able to build a multi-million-dollar business out of nowhere due to your resilience, your mindset. And I think it's for everyone to really watch this. Now, if you are watching us, what we want you to do is to share this for somebody to have an opportunity to really experience this discussion. Trust me, it's going to be mind-blowing, and we encourage each and everyone here to share this to a platform, share this, start somebody for them to watch this interview. Now, I want us to go straight to business, because you are going to talk to us about your entrepreneurial journey and why you made decision to go to Africa to impact the continent of Africa. Now, I want to go straight to business. Tell me about growing up. How was life like?
Well, okay, so I was born in 1961, and my grandfather was born in August of 1900. And so when you think about becoming a success in life, you have to have some mentors. And my grandfather was a very, very good mentor. I remember going to his house, and even when he was 70 and 80 years old, he would take me out to the shop. He was a farmer, and he would show me this latest invention that he created for his farming business. And so it was in my head that we can work and create things. Now, my father didn't have that mindset of inventing, but he was very, very good at living within his means. And he was also a farmer and a dairy farmer, and he was a very hardworking guy. And so I remember other people around was buying brand new equipment, and my dad was buying something used for maybe only a quarter of the price. And I thought, wow, why is he doing this? I'd like to have something new. You know, I'm a young kid. I don't want to drive this old thing. But then when I got older and I started to realize, you know, you have to work really, really hard to pay for this new thing. And this used thing, you can pay cash. And so it can really increase your business if you learn to live within your means. So I started out as an entrepreneur at a very young age, probably 16 or 17. One of my friends just down the road, maybe a half a mile, his father had died, and he needed to earn some money. And so we were thinking, what can we do? And we decided we can cut firewood. And people in Michigan burned a lot of wood to heat their houses. And so he and we each had a chainsaw, and we went out in the woods and we cut down firewood. But then we had to split it to make it small pieces for burning properly. And so I remember one day I said, we have to have a log splitter. And so that can stop you right there, because I don't know how to make a log splitter. So the important thing, though, in business and becoming an entrepreneur is not saying I can't, it's saying, how can I do this? And so I went to the place where I was going to buy metal, and he said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I need to build a log splitter, and but I don't really know how." Oh, he said, "I know how to do this." He said, "You need an I-beam, you need some metal," and he kind of helped me through that. And that's something that I've really learned in life is when you just go ahead and start doing things, people jump on board and they help us. But if you're always sitting back in the chair and saying, I don't know how to do that, I don't know how to do that, nothing happens. And so, and so, well, we had some challenges, but you know, we built the log splitter and we began we created a business and we got some customers and we started supplying them and we learned how to do invoicing, we learned how to do collecting. And so we kept that up. And in the meantime, then I went to work for another man, a neighbor, and he was farming and he did a lot of things. He did a lot of his own repair work, and he was a very, very tough boss. And we always had more things to do than we could possibly get done. But he taught me about time management. And so I learned to carry a little notebook here in my pocket. And every day we write down all the different jobs that have to be accomplished this day. Okay, and so then what happens is you begin to become very, very efficient. You say, okay, well, I'm walking past this building to go to do that job. I will do this job. And so you save steps. And so then I was working with him for probably 2 or 3 years.
So let me really leave it there. It looks like you are running ahead of me. But you made one powerful statement, and that is people sit down waiting for opportunities whilst they have to go for opportunities. Why do you think that is the case?
The case is because so many people they think they have to have education, they think they have to have experience, they think they have to have the right connections, and it stops them from getting anything done. What you need is motivation. And motivation comes from having a vision about more than just today. I want to see where I'm going to be at in 5 years, where I'm going to be in 10 years. I've got to see farther than just my daily needs. And so all these things, this lack of education, this lack of experience, this lack of connections, you can fix those problems even in another country where you don't have as many opportunities by volunteering. So supposing somebody wants to have a television show like you, and they say, Oscar, I want to volunteer to help you. Would you turn them down?
No.
No.
Even I need more hands. Now I need more hands.
And so while they're coming to volunteer, they're learning. And pretty soon you say, hey, you're worth something to me. I'm going to start hiring you because you make my job better. You make my job easier. And so you see there's 1,000 people out there that is just doing nothing. And there's one person that wants to become a television announcer, and he's doing something. He's volunteering. He's getting experience, he's getting education, and he's getting connections. And so then suddenly they say, well, you know what? I want to go on my own, but I don't want to cause you a problem. And is there another area that I can get into? And so then you begin to collaborate. You work together with this volunteer. You mentor them. And see, pretty soon they're off and running, and you become partners because they feel like, hey, Oscar helped me, I will help him. And so these people who say, well, there's nothing to do, there's no jobs. There's always jobs.
There's always jobs. And I think it's all boils down to this mindset issue. Yeah, but when you really look at it, it looks like a lot of us who really don't really push forward, but we rather want to sit in our comfort zone waiting for that breakthrough. Because when you start mentioning that you wanted to really you saw a need that people needed wood for their homes in terms of heating, and that is why you went to the woods to really start cutting this wood for these people and you started making money. Our world is full of problems, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I always say that people only buy the problems we solve. Why are we not solving our problems to make money? Why?
Some people do. When I was in Kenya, the roads are not as good out in the country. And there were young boys that would come and put in stones and dirt in those in the ruts,
Mm-hmm.
and we gave them money. They were entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just out playing. They were working to make the road better. They were solving problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a job for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But what we need to do is add value.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I learned early in life. Um, well, I'm going to jump back. There are some setbacks in business, and
I think don't mix up because we are coming gradually. We are building up the discussion. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we will come back to that. Yeah. Now, what was your first business? So after your first business of cutting the woods, are there any other businesses that you decided you wanted to enter?
Yes, because I grew up as a dairy farmer and a cropland farmer, I got into that business myself.
Okay.
And we had a dry year.
Mm-hmm.
Interest rates were really, really high. It was back in the early 80s, 1980s. And I didn't know anything any different. Nowadays, when you borrow money, the interest rate is low. And so you can borrow money and you don't have to give all your money to the bank for interest. And back then, I think it was like 18%. It was very high.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a really rough year, and I lost a lot of money that first year. And so that catapulted me out of my comfort zone because the only thing I knew was milking cows and farming land. And I think I was farming 600 acres. So it wasn't small, but it wasn't huge. And so the first year we lost money, and then I went back to the bank and I explained what happened, and we got enough money to go another year, and we earned some of that money back. But then I went into construction with a local man in Michigan, and I found out I had a talent for it. I really loved it. I could make it happen. I was good at it. And I think I only worked for him for maybe 1 year, and then I started doing jobs on my own.
Okay.
And so then we moved from Michigan down to Kentucky, and I started helping a man build these big, long chicken houses. They were 516 feet.
So let me get this thing right. So you stopped the farming and
Yes.
entered into construction.
Right.
Why did you stop the farming?
It was just because of a financial loss.
Okay.
I could see that it wasn't going to work for me. Things were changing. And there were a lot of people in the early 1980s that lost their farms. And luckily, when I decided to get out of the business, I talked to my accountant, and my accountant said, "You're very lucky that you can get out," because he said some people get in so deep that they can never get out. So they're in this losing business. And so I decided to try something else. And so I got into construction and moved to Kentucky. And I worked for a man. Well, I worked for myself for a few months. And then on these great big buildings, I didn't know how to do that. And I worked for a local man for 2 buildings only. And I thought, I could do this. Why am I working for this guy? I can do this. So I drove over to these people's house, and I recruited 3 helpers right away. And pretty soon I had 12 men working for me.
Wow.
And we were building these chicken houses. And the first few we didn't have good time management. And so I'm thinking, how can I motivate these people? Because when you're working with people, you have to add value to the customer, you have to add value to the workers, and you have to add value to yourself. It has to be a win-win situation for everyone. So I decided if I pay them X amount of dollars for every building we build, no matter how many hours. And so I had a base wage for them by the hour. And then I said, if there's still money left over, I'm going to pay you a bonus. And so they became very motivated, very hardworking guys. So we started out, it took us 950 man hours to build a chicken house. Then when I gave them the incentive, the hours dipped down to 495 man hours.
Wow.
Almost half. Because they knew that at the end of the job, I would pay them their hourly wage, and then I'd pay them the leftover. And so it helped me out because I'm getting so much per house to build the chicken house, and we're getting them done twice as fast. So that it increased my wages by double, it increased their wages by double.
Wow. So does it mean that rewards and motivation is very important in business?
Very important. And you have to figure out what your customer needs. What does he want? And so you learn to know people, and you talk to people, and you create trust-based relationships. In a trust-based relationship, I have a voice and you have a voice. And so you say, no, Stuart, this isn't what I want. This is what I want. And I say, okay, then I will change and I will add value to you. But I want you to add value to me. And pretty soon we have a very, very good, strong working relationship, and I trust you and you trust me because we know we can always communicate.
Wow.
And so that's something that too many people, they're trying to create a win relationship, and maybe the other person is losing. I'm winning, but you're losing. But in the long run, you're going to lose because they don't want to do business with you. They don't trust you. You don't have integrity. You don't keep your word. And that's the other thing I learned. It's very, very important to communicate with people. When you tell someone, I'm going to come and do such and such on such and such a day, just like you told me, you said, Stuart, I want to interview on February the 6th. So I set aside time on February the 6th for this interview. Now, supposing you'd have said, oh, no, I guess it's not going to work after all. Let's maybe do it. Maybe let's do it next Saturday. Well, then next Saturday comes and I say, is he or isn't he? I don't know. So it's very important. So then supposing, though, you would have had an emergency, you'd have picked up the phone, you'd have WhatsApped me, and you'd said, Stuart, I'm very sorry. I can't do the interview on the 6th because my mother is sick or whatever. And I'd say, oh, it's no problem. I understand that. And so we communicate.
But let me give you, because look, you were on the platform, you joined the platform around past, right? Now, I have been doing this business for like 10 years, right? And I tell you, majority of the people will join the platform 8 o'clock when we are supposed to go live. Some can be late as 5, 10, 15 minutes. And this is the kind of life. So sometimes I ask people that, like, there was a young man that was supposed to come on this show, and this young man was going to talk about leadership. But then this young man never turned up, and there was no communication. And I'm like, what right have you even got to even speak about leadership? And I think that is the problem we have. I think we have got a bunch of people that talk too much, but when it comes to taking action, it's always a problem. Why do you think this is a problem? Because when you look in business, there is a lot of people that are doing business that they don't even understand the fundamental principle of communication. Somebody will tell you that, look, I'm going to bring your product to you at tomorrow, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. will come, there is no communication. You call them and they rather feel like angry. And sometimes I wonder the kind of world that we are living in and why people think they can do business anyhow and in the long term they are still going to succeed. What do you think about that?
Oh, it doesn't work. It never works because even like when I was, I have an acronym that I come up with. It's called service, price, attitude, and convenience. And so those four things, we need to have at least three of them.
Mm.
So if your wife calls you and she says, Oscar, pick something up at the supermarket on the way home, and you're pressed for time. So you're going to go to the supermarket that provides the quickest service. You're not going to be so concerned about price because it's just one small item. And then if you have a choice between which supermarket you go to, you're going to use the one where they have the best attitude. They greet you when you come in. Hey, Oscar, good to see you. And they're friendly and they're helpful. And you say, I'm dashing today. I just need to pick up some soap quickly. Oh, they say, right here. Let me help you. And so then it's very convenient. And those are always the kinds of places that we do business with. We don't go somewhere where people are grouchy and where the price is high and where they have poor service and their attitude is bad. So if anybody who wants to get into becoming an entrepreneur, SPAC, SPAC, service, price, attitude, and convenience.
But I think attitude is one of the most critical factors over there, isn't it?
The what?
Attitude.
Attitude is very critical. Yes, and that's something that you can do something about. You can get up in the morning and decide if you're going to have a good day or if you're going to have a bad day.
It's up to you, isn't it?
It's up to you.
But sometimes we even wait for others to really spark that in us, isn't it?
Well, you know, though, when you come into the room and I come into the room, I can be the first one to say, hello, Oscar, how's your day? And immediately there's a positive energy. And so you feel better already. But if I come in the room and I ignore you and you ignore me, then pretty soon we start wondering, is he angry? Is he upset about something? And you start to have negative energy.
So attitude is everything, isn't it? As they say. Yes.
Attitude is very, very important.
Yeah. I read a quote that have really stuck with me when it comes to attitude, and it says, attitude is like a flat tire. You cannot do anything with it until you change it. And I thought that was a very powerful statement, you know.
That's right. That's good. That's good.
Because sometimes our attitude towards everything is bad, and that is why we are not succeeding, especially in business, you know.
Absolutely. So, supposing this young guy that we talked about that volunteers for you, because he wants to learn this business, suppose he has a bad attitude. Are you going to keep him around?
No.
No.
No. No. We don't even have the time.
No, we don't have the time.
No, we don't have the time. Yes. And I think that is the problem with a lot of young people, especially these days, that they've got a very wrong attitude, some of them, but they still think they can use the same attitude to succeed. It doesn't work that way.
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Now, so when did you say that you really break through in business?
I've done so many things. I was in construction, so I had these 12 men. We were building chicken houses. We were going fast. We were doing very, very good work. And then I have a small family. We had 4 little children. And the company that I was building for, they said, can you go to this state and can you go to the next state? And, you know, I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to be away from my children and my wife. And so then we have to make an adjustment. And so I built some chicken houses of my own. And because I had prior experience with milking cows, I started raising some Holstein heifers. And then we did that for several years. And my children helped me with chores. They learned responsibility. We were raising some dogs, and we were just doing all kinds of things together as a family while the children were small. Okay, and so then there was waste in these chicken houses. See, there was 30,000 chickens in each house.
Wow.
And there's farmers all over the country that have these chicken houses. And so the waste, we didn't know what to do with it. And so, here's the thing. Some people say you have to have an education, but you can keep on learning. I only have a 9th grade education. But I went to the university and I took a sample of this chicken waste and I said, "What's this good for?" And they said, "Oh, it's fantastic fertilizer." And so I got the analysis on it. And so then I went to the farmers. I said, "It has this much nitrogen, this much phosphorus, and this much potassium." And so I said, "Why don't we spread it on your field? I think it'll make your crops grow better." And so I began marketing this stuff. And pretty soon I have neighbors calling me and they say, "Hey, can you get me some of that chicken litter? I see what I did for my neighbor's farm." And pretty soon I have another guy calling me, "Will you come and clean out my chicken houses?"
Wow.
And so then I created a business doing that. And that's what by then my oldest son was 16 and he was enthused about it. And so we went to the bank and we borrowed some money and he bought a piece of equipment and he got into business with me and we worked together, the two of us. And then we had to have more helpers and pretty soon we had 7 semis hauling the waste to the fields and hauling the fresh bedding to the barns to put back in. So you're always looking for ways to solve problems. You're always looking for ways to add value to people.
But when you really look at it, it looks like you are always trying to build businesses out of waste.
Yeah.
And I think that is quite interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I don't know why. I can always see opportunity. I can always see, and see, that's the thing, Oscar. Not everybody has my mindset. So sometimes if you don't have an entrepreneur's mindset, you need to connect with an entrepreneur because I can't do this stuff all by myself. Half of being smart is knowing what you're dumb at. So I know there's some things that I'm dumb at. I'm not very good at bookwork. So, but this guy over here, he's very good at books, but he doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. So I bring him on board. This guy over here, he's a finish carpenter. So when we build somebody's house, he does all the trimming. He hangs all the doors. He does all the real fine stuff. And so we create a team. And so if a person is not an entrepreneur, they can connect with an entrepreneur and they can add value to him. And it still creates a win-win relationship. And when people are really good at what they're doing, everybody wants them. If you go to get your car painted, you don't go to the guy that does a sloppy job. You go to the one who does a very, very good job. And so whatever it is that we choose to do, we can study. And nowadays you've got the internet, you've got YouTube, you've got so many ways of learning how to do something. And we just have to apply ourselves.
Wow. Because the point is that even if I may ask you, how much was this the how do you call it, what you were getting from the chicken, the feces?
We call it litter. We call it litter.
Litter, yeah. So what you are getting from there, how much was it even costing you? But it means that, was it costing you so much?
No, at first they were giving it to me.
So you were getting it for free?
Yes, and I had to buy all the equipment, the loaders, the spreaders, the trucks. But then eventually, when people find out how good it is, then they're willing to pay more money.
So what was it packaged to be sold?
Yeah. Nowadays it's because we've established this business, there's a set amount that we have to pay for it. There's a set amount that we charge for trucking, a set amount for spreading, and then it ends up costing the crop farmer X amount of dollars. And that kind of fluctuates with commercial fertilizer.
Mm.
But see, it's a much better product than commercial fertilizer because it
Mm.
adds humus to the soil,
Mm.
and uh, it creates water retention. So like when you have a dry year, it it adds value to the soil, and it keeps the moisture in the soil better.
Wow, wow, wow. I think I've got a question here. He said, please thanks for all the great job. My question is that's coming from Kweku City Mensa. He says, my question is, what were some of the challenges he faced at the initial stages and how was he able to overcome them? Secondly, what advice will he give to people who want to build their own businesses? So the first question is, what were some of the challenges you faced at the initial stages of your business startup?
There's always challenges, and challenges are actually good. Some people think that challenges are bad, but they're always good because it catapults us out of our comfort zone, and we have to think, we have to learn more. So some of the challenges as I had was that I didn't know which equipment to use. And so I would buy a piece of equipment and it didn't work properly, and then I would have to retrofit it and modify it to make it do what I wanted it to do. And then as our business got a little more established, I would take my workers and we went on tours. And you can tour the country and find other people who are doing this, and you can learn from them. And so one of my sons, he worked with the engineer of the company so much that they actually incorporated my son's idea into how to build this new spreader.
Wow, 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 wow,
That's always a big challenge. You're always thinking, how can I do this better? How can I be more efficient? How can I add more value?
mm, mm.
Because we have to create a win-win relationship with everybody.
Wow, wow, wow. And I think probably you answer his last question. I think he's saying, what advice are you going to give anyone that wants to build their own business? Mm.
I, I would say look for what needs to be done. You know, when you see something that's lacking in your community, and you ask yourself, can I fill that slot? Now, you know, you've heard of Walmart.
Mm.
It's a huge company.
Mhm.
And the way Sam Walton, who is the founder of Walmart, got started, he noticed that people were lacking fresh fruits and vegetables, but he didn't have any way of hauling them. So he's thinking about, how can I get a trailer to haul these? Well, one day he was driving on the road and he saw an old boat, and the boat was junk, but it was sitting on a trailer, a boat trailer. And so he's thinking, you know what? I can use the boat to haul my produce.
Mm.
So he bought the boat and trailer and never took it to the lake
Mm.
because it wouldn't hold water. It had holes in it. So
Mm.
he bought it very, very cheap. But then he put his corn and his potatoes and tomatoes, and that was how he got started.
Wow.
And too many,
Wow.
yeah, and too many people aren't willing to start with what they have.
Mm.
You need to start with what you have.
I don't even want us to go there, but I think that is a lot of people. Look, I speak to a lot of young people in conferences, and I ask them, why is it that you've not been able to start your business? And 99 out of 100 will tell me it's money. They don't have the mindset to start from somewhere.
Right.
You see, when they want to start a business, they want to get a big complex office where
Yes.
where everybody will give them praise, but they don't want to start from the roadside and build
Right.
a business onto a tabletop, onto a shop, and onto a corporate entity. Why don't
Right.
we have the mindset? And this one takes me to my next question, and that is, what mindset should people have going into business?
Well, live within your means. You know, so we moved to Kentucky and I wanted to build these chicken houses, but I didn't hardly have any money.
Mm.
So I was born in 1961,
Mhm.
and I found this old backhoe tractor that was a 1969 and it barely ran. and it was very cheap. But it smoked so much that it gave me a headache. But I started with the old backhoe tractor and a truck and a few hand tools. And then as the business grew, I sold that and got a better tractor. And so you see, you can start, but I'm sure when people saw me going down the road, they said, "What's he doing with that old piece of junk?"
Yes.
But I was starting my business. And in the meantime, they're sitting there laughing at me, but they have no business.
They don't have no business. It's quite interesting here. Like I have a friend who wanted to start talking about cars in Ghana, and he never started for about a year or 2 years. Never started. So I was speaking to him just about 3 months ago. I said, "Why haven't you started this program you want to do to educate people about cars?" And the new model of cars, what people can make out of cars, and a whole lot of things he wanted. And I'm like, "Why haven't you started?" He said he's looking to get a very nice camera. I said, "Look, that is a waste of time. What phone do you use?" He says, "iPhone." I said, what camera is better than an iPhone? Start from using your iPhone. Get one of your brothers, your cousins to just film you and start putting it on YouTube. And as I'm talking to you now, he started getting reviews. He started building his YouTube channel. And I think this is the problem people have. Why can't we start with what we have?
Amen. Amen. So when I was in Kenya, I was there all by myself. I was invited to come. Pastor Christopher invited me. And while I was there, I had a moment of anxiety. I said, "How am I going to stay safe? I'm in a foreign country. I don't know anyone." It'd be like if you came over here, Oscar. Now you know me. You could come to my house.
Yes.
But if you didn't know anyone, and you're just out here, I mean, maybe I invited you, but you don't really know me. I might hit you on the head.
Of course.
You don't know.
Yes.
Okay, so in that moment, I was saying, how can I stay safe? And the thought came, just add value. Oh, and then everything opened up in my mind. If I add value, I'll become valuable to these people. If I become valuable to these people, they're going to take care of me. And so that was my awareness moment. And so, when you add value to people, they take care of you. And then there's so many people that don't have that concept. They never get their business started because they don't add value. They're always looking at adding value to themselves. They're not looking at adding value to the next person.
Wow. That's quite deep, to be honest. That's quite deep. What is your definition of failure and success, especially in business?
Failure, there is no such thing as failure. We have problems and we have challenges and we get results that we don't like, but that can be a learning experience. And so everybody starts with potential. Every person in the world has potential. And if you don't have limiting beliefs that keep you from activating your potential, you're going to put forth an effort. And when you put forth an effort, you're going to get a result. Now, the result may not be exactly what you want it to be. So some people say, "Oh, I had a failure. I can't do it. I can't do that. I can't." No, that's not a failure. That's just a result. Go back to your effort and figure out why you didn't get the result you wanted. So you may have to learn. If I wanted to be a television host like you, I'd say, "Hey, Oscar, my friend, I'm over here in the U.S. and this is what happened, and I didn't get the result I wanted." And you say, "Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. This is what you need to change." "Oh, okay, thank you." And so then I put forth another effort, and I get a different result. And then I get accomplishment. Because what some people view as a failure, I view as a learning experience. And so we shouldn't stop. We should just keep putting forth another effort. We get another result. Now, don't put forth the same effort and expect to get a different result.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
That is madness, yeah?
That's madness.
Yeah. But when you look at it that way, the point is that people have been programmed that failure is a dead end. So somebody goes to write A levels, GCSE, and they fail, and they are like, school is not good for me. I'm quitting and I'm going to do something else. Why do we define failure as a dead end?
It's part of your programming. You know, maybe somebody has told you that you're a failure. Maybe when you were in school, somebody said you're a failure, and that got stuck in your head. And then you need to have a mentor to help you to get that out of your head.
Wow. And that is a very long process, isn't it? I call it the reprogramming of the mind.
So what happens, Oscar? Another thing I've noticed is when you begin to have success, some of your friends will become jealous. Jealousy is a big problem worldwide.
Wow.
And so they might make up stories about you. They may say, well, he's cheating. And soon you find out that, you separate from the negative, and it makes room for the positive friends to come on board. And so as you're moving through this journey of life, some friends fall off and you gain new friends. And so you should be going upward. You should be getting better friends, but you can't get better friends if you hang on desperately to all the old friends who have no business.
So you think this jealousy thing is a worldwide phenomenon? I was thinking it was only among we Africans. You think it's
no.
But why is that the case? Why is it that people are not really happy if I see Stuart really excelling in life? Why is it that I naturally I should be happy for you? Why should I jealous? What is the underlying factor that sparks that jealousy?
I think the underlying factor is we have the spirit of entitlement. If Oscar has success, I should have success. But am I willing to do what you did? Am I willing to study half the night for the next interview? See what they want to play games half the night before the next interview, and then the interview is not a success. Well, Oscar just got lucky. See, it all goes back to mindset and hard work. You've heard of Tiger Woods, the golfer?
Yes.
He said, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Of course. The harder he works, the luckier he gets. And I think sometimes you even move from the level of luck to expertise. You know? So I was listening to Alex Ferguson back in the days when he was in Manchester United. And he made a profound statement that some of the goals that David Beckham scores through free kicks, right? It doesn't amaze him because he's the first person to come on the training ground and he's the last person to leave practicing free kicks.
Right.
So you cannot just come overnight and beat him in free kicks because he has spent hours practicing that trade. And it was only free kicks that really made him stand out on the field. There was nothing good to write about him apart from free kicks, because when there is free kicks, he will make sure you put it in the net. And I said that was his competitive advantage. He was on the field just to really put in free kicks. So the point is that what can you do best? And that is the question I think people don't ask themselves. And they think, oh, Oscar is doing interviews, probably he's doing well, so I want to also go and do interviews. The question is, can you do that to the best of your ability? And also, can you invest in what Oscar has invested? Can you invest in what Stuart has invested all these years? And I think we don't ask ourselves this question. We just jump into it, and before we realize, we fail abysmally. And I think that is the reason why we all struggle, isn't it?
Yes, there's always a gap. There's your expectations up here, and there's what you experience down here, and there's a gap between here.
Mm,
So everybody can choose what they put in that gap.
mm,
Can they put in more work? Can they put in more study? Can they put in more learning from other people? Or do they put in, I feel sorry for myself, so I guess I'll go have a drink, or I'll go buy something so I feel better about myself,
mm,
because it all depends on what you put in the gap
mm, mm.
between your expectation and what you're experiencing.
Wow, 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 wow. You see, when the discussion is very good, time really runs very fast. And trust me, we are almost on top of the hour. But tell
Oh,
me briefly about why did you decide to leave your success in business to really take on a mission in Africa to change the narrative on a continent?
well, it just kind of happened because I started going to Africa, and suddenly all these experiences of life, my farming experience, my construction experience, and my agribusiness experience, I said, I can help these people over here learn how to self-sustain.
Mm,
And so then I came home. I was still running my business. I had a good manager. But one day my youngest son came and he said, Dad, can I buy your business from you?
mm,
And so I thought, it would be better to give him an opportunity
mhm,
than just for him to struggle along in life, and then when I die, give him a lot more money.
mm,
And so I started thinking about, can we make this work? Once again, how can we make this work? And so we talked for some time, and we come up with a plan where he could buy me out, but I could still receive income. And and then it gives me more time to invest in Africa and even locally. I'm involved in some local things now. We build wheelchair ramps for people. Like if they go to the hospital, they come home, the doctor says, "You're going to be in a wheelchair for 6 months," and they say, "How can I do that? I have no ramp. I have no way to get in my house."
mm,
And so I'm involved in a little nonprofit organization, and we go and build them a ramp.
mm,
And so, you know, it it's just about adding value. And see, the neat thing is I got involved in Kenya, and while I was there, I started. I had this moment where I thought, if I add value, I'll become more valuable. If I become more valuable, people will take care of me. And then I got home and I was listening to a YouTube video by John Maxwell, and he was telling about how that's his whole life is made up of adding value. And I said, wow, this guy's getting his inspiration from the same place I am.
mhm,
I wonder if I can join. And so I started looking more and more at John Maxwell, and I found out he had a team. So then I became a John Maxwell team member. Well, because I have a mission in Kenya and because I'm a John Maxwell team member, then David Douglas called me and said, will you help us in Ghana? And so
mm,
now I'm on the mission board in Ghana. And because of all those three things, I met with you.
mm, mhm,
And so we just keep climbing.
mhm.
And so now, because of this interview, I hope you get to impact more people in America, and I get to impact more people in the UK.
Mm. Yes. Wow, 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 wow. So how has the mission so far? How is it going?
The mission is going well. I've had some challenges over there because you have to find people who are willing to volunteer, and
Mm,
that's always a challenge.
mm,
But now I've done some switching, you know. But now we have a very, very good pastor, and he's involved in so many things. Like this last week, there was a boy he was born with a short leg,
mm,
and he's way out in the village. He has to walk 6 miles to school, and so we were buying him a little plastic leg every year. But every year he's outgrown it. We have to buy him a new plastic leg.
mm,
So Pastor Christopher and Eunice, my business manager, found a program with the Westpokot County that they are helping these handicapped children. So they go out and they convince the mother to come in, bring the child in, and go to the hospital. And so now he's going to undergo an operation and he'll get an artificial leg.
Wow.
And then Eunice is managing I built some small chicken houses over there. And just because I have so much experience, I was in the hardware store and I found these materials in Kenya that I could use. And I designed these chicken houses. And then there's another lady named Janet that was growing chickens and she helped us. So it's all about teamwork.
Wow.
And so the business is growing, and the other neat thing is, Oscar, is they're learning the concept of Kenyans helping Kenyans.
Wow.
Because with COVID, I can't go over there. So I can give them advice, but they're the ones doing the work.
Wow. I think you have sown a seed in Kenya, and I believe that very soon you will be going across the whole Africa, because you have got a very good model, and that model can be replicated in other countries. And as you said, it's more about getting people to volunteer and trusted people that are going to make sure that, look, your chickens are safe before they use it for pepper soup, you know. Yeah, but that's quite interesting. You are doing a very great job, and I think you are part of the people that are changing the narrative on the continent. So kudos to you and your team, and I believe this is just the beginning. Now, time is fast spent. Let me just talk about our sponsors quickly. This program is sponsored by Train to Inspire Consultancy, your business training and consulting firm for SMEs and corporate entities. Train to Inspire also work with students, that is in second cycle colleges and universities, in terms of their personal development. Also, ALS Global Shipping and Logistics, your trusted import and export company based in Ghana. ALS says if you are stranded at a port, call them and they will sort you out. Also, ZPay Ghana Limited, your remittance and mobile money company based in Ghana. They just launched their USSD code for mobile money, and that is *270#. Just register it for ZPay mobile money. Also, if you want to contact any of our sponsors, their contact details are scrolling on the screen. Contact them. I always say that if you tell them you got the number from TTY TV UK, you are more likely to get a good deal. Also, if you want to sponsor what we are doing, if you want to also support what we are doing, you are more than happy to do this. This program is an educative platform for the young people on the continent of Africa and in the diaspora. Our aim is to create this mindset change on the continent. And trust me, people talk about leadership, but I talk about mindset before leadership, because every leadership stems from a particular mindset. So if the mind is so set right, there is no way leadership is going to work for us. And we want to change the mindset of the young people. The young people on the continent, their mind is set on a different path. And until we change it for them to understand that they can see opportunities, there is no way they can succeed. Most of them are seeing problems instead of opportunities. But the problems they see can be turned into opportunities. And this is about changing their mindset. And this is where we want to take it to. We don't just want to take it online. We want to take it to them as well. In the near future, do training programs, support their businesses, help them to get into angel investors and venture capitalists, do a whole lot for them. But we cannot do it alone with our resources. We need your resources. Resources can be any form of resource. Your knowledge to even take us on the right direction. Your knowledge of taking us to the right department and the right people for us to really create that platform to really encourage these young people and support them with their talent and their vision. It is going to go a milestone. And trust me, like today, this interview is a very powerful interview. If you have got enough resources to put an ad on this interview for a lot of people to watch this interview, it is going to bless that one young person over there. So there are so many ways you can do to support. Our vision is big, but we cannot do it alone. We need your support to succeed. Now, Stuart, it's been wonderful having you on the show, and I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Yes, I have too. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And what is your last word to anyone that is watching us?
The last word that I have is the same thing that John Maxwell says is people need to have good values. When you have good values, you add value. When you add value, when you value people and you have good values, then you add value to people. And when I add value to you and you add value to me, it makes the world a much, much better place. But if I'm trying to take from you and you're trying to take from me and we become selfish, the whole world is going to go down.
Wow. So we need to be valuable in the marketplace. If you provide value, then of course you are going to attract the right people, and you are also going to attract the right resources, and you are also going to attract the money that you need. I always say this, that money understands only one language, and that is value. That is why if you go to a particular company, somebody is being paid $100,000 a month, while somebody is being paid $100. The difference is the value they bring to the table. So value is very, very critical when it comes to business. And the language that money understands, that it gets attracted to money, is value. I always say that the magnet attracts only nails. The magnet does not have time to attract wood. Why? Because the magnet knows itself, and they understand that they can only provide value for nails. Who are you providing value for? And how is the level of your value that you are providing? Provide value in the marketplace, and over time, people will automatically get attracted to you, and your business or your vision is going to grow. Thank you, Stuart, for your time. And we are really blessed today for your time. God richly bless you. And we hope to see you another time on the show.
Thank you so much.
And for everybody that took their time to watch us, God richly bless you. Please share this for somebody to have an opportunity. And also try and like our page on Facebook, T2Y TV UK, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is going to be a token of support for this platform. See you guys and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
See you later.